That flies really, really well.
This is the Beast Broadhead by Velocity Archery. It's a 4-blade expandable broadhead with a whopping 2 inches maximum cutting diameter. If it works as advertised, it will prove to be a very popular broadhead for hunters with high energy bows. And that's why the Beast is what's coming up next on Twang and Bang. The Velocity Beast is a piston action expandable with a 6/10 inch diameter when closed. Its tip is designed to split bone and has 6 talon-like points to catch on tissue and aid in deploying the blades. The blades are all linked internally to the piston, meaning that one rubber band holding the rear blades is all that's needed to keep all 4 blades closed during launch and flight. Each blade has 2 inches of cutting surface, though because of their angle result in a still impressive 4 inches of total cut when fully open. There is very little chance of a Beast opening during flight, even from very high-speed crossbows. However, a good wrap on the tip pops the rubber bands and locks the blades in a fully open position. Though the blades won't close rearward once locked, they will swing forward to almost 90 degrees, which might allow the Beast to be used in states with bans on barbed broadheads. However, you will need to check your local laws to be sure. Since a practice head is not available, I made one according to Velocity's instructions by supergluing the blades and piston into place. For accuracy testing, I'm using my Hickory Creek vertical crossbow at 25 yards. First, here are 3 shots with the same arrow using a 125 grain field point. You can see why I love the Hickory Creek crossbow. It's zeroed for 100 grain heads, which is why the group was a bit to the right of the bull. Now, here are 3 shots with the Beast practice head that I made. That group is just as tight, and it's only about a 1/4 inch to the left of the field points. This is the first time I got true field tip flight from any broadhead, though it might be different for you depending upon the tuning of your bow. Next, I'm going to shoot a fresh Beast in a 1/2 inch plywood to simulate a shoulder blade impact. I'm using my Matthews Monster Accelerate for this test. It definitely smashed on through, and at first glance, it looks like the blade successfully deployed. However, the rear blades actually broke off, and the hole the Beast created is only the diameter of the shaft. It's hard to say what kind of cutting the head would do after busting through a shoulder blade, but it's definitely less than if it missed bone altogether. Here's my first shot with a fresh Beast in the clear ballistics gel using my Matthews. Unfortunately, the blades did not fully deploy, and this is probably because the gel is too elastic to allow them to swing forward. This gel is designed for bullets, not blades, and it doesn't cut nearly as easily as real tissue does. I want to try this test again with a faster bow. This time I'm using yet another fresh Beast, shooting with my 125-pound draw Hickory Creek vertical crossbow. I'm hoping the faster speed will give the piston enough of a pop to open the blades before they get too far into the gel. The extra velocity did indeed help, and you can see how much cutting the Beast did as it passed through the hide. However, the wound channel reveals that the gel won this round too, pressing the blades closed again before they had the chance to lock open. It turns out I had some old blocks of Semtest that really need to be thrown away, but this animal protein-based medium is much easier to cut than clear ballistics gel. Even though this isn't calibrated at all, I thought I'd see what the Beast could do. Those wounds are results I'd be very happy with. Even though the Semtest was tough enough to stop the Beast cold, the blades did an excellent job of cutting since the impact with the block was enough to lock them open. I'm not convinced this old Semtest is a good analog for living animal tissue, but at least we get to see what a wound channel would hopefully look like. Well, if you subscribe to my channel, you know there are weeks I don't get videos out, and last week is one of those weeks because you're looking at day 5. This is the 5th day of me getting footage for the review of this broadhead. And that's because I've been working really hard to find a way to demonstrate in test medium what Velocity has already been getting in live game testing. When I talked to Velocity about my results that you've already seen, I asked him, what different media did you use during testing before you put this out on the market? And long story short, the stuff they use is not stuff that I'm going to be using in a video. But they have done a lot of testing on live game with broadheads just like this one that they pulled off of the line, pulled out of a package just like this, and they're getting 100% positive results in live game. They sent me pictures. So I think it really comes down to anything that you can shoot a broadhead into at 360 feet per second with a 425 grain total arrow weight, and it stops it cold. You know that's not the way an arrow is going to behave in actual tissue in live game. Live tissue is a lot easier to cut than ballistics gel. It's also very fluid. It literally has fluid in it, blood, other things. And so blades that open by moving forward don't have nearly as tough a time deploying in live tissue as they do in ballistics gelatin. So at this point, my position is I'm rooting for this broadhead. I'm still rooting for this broadhead. It's brand new. It's just being pushed out on the market right now. This is fall of 2014. It's the first hunting season where people will be using this. And so I'm waiting to hear field reports, to hear what regular hunters using this on regular game report. And that's when I'm going to determine whether or not this lives up to the marketing claims. I don't feel like the tests that I can do here are giving it a fair shake. That's all I could say about that. I would love for this broadhead to perform like a broadhead where the blades swing rearward, or like a fixed blade. It's really easy to show in ballistics gelatin, the cutting diameter, all those different things. And for me, I'm not too worried about the fact that the blade snapped off in the broadhead in the plywood test, because there are other expandables that I've used with great success on deer that break off in the same way. I just don't aim for shoulder blades. But if that's something that's important to you, then it's important for you to know, which is why I did the test, which is why I kept it in this video. But if you want to learn more about the beast from Velocity Archery, be sure to click the link in the video description below. If you like this video, please take the time to log in and click the like button. It'll really help me out. If you want to help the channel even more, be sure to click up here so you can see how you can contribute to my Patreon campaign. And be sure to click here to subscribe so you can catch my next videos on bows, guns, and other cool things like this Velocity Beast broadhead. I really appreciate you watching Twang and Bang, and I hope to see you next time.